I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I've been amazing. I just started the stream TikTok. It's like, oh my god, you haven't actually started talking. It's like, yeah, bitch, because I'm doing shit. Like, I don't. Jesus. Does it let you like put a? There we go, thumbnail. All right, there's that. I threw a thumbnail up over on YouTube. That way, if you want to go jump on the YouTube, they can. This, oh boy, like oh boy. Mm. This damn book is just stress to my soul. Check the stream quality real quick because I just didn't have me do a video today. Quality looks solid. We love to see that. Mm. Pre-order your comic book. Hey, some dude, what's good, fam? Mm. Yeah, this book is just stress.
New history of the DC.
Ugh. Well, who's my favorite Robin? Tim Drake. I'm a Tim Drake fan. I will always be a Tim Drake fan. Some dude. That is a fact of life. That Tim Drake is the best Robin. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying or they're ill informed. That is literally the best answer I could possibly give you. If you don't think Tim Drake is the best Robin, then you are ill informed. That is a hill I will always die on. Because like Tim Drake is just the best. Like how could you not be a fan of Tim Drake? Like Tim Drake is just the goat. Like this is the best dude right here. Like he's just the goat. Like how could you not love this man's? Like like dude just does everything the best. We love this man's around here. We love this man's. Mm. Shout out to Rise Energy. They shit is the bomb. But you know, we rocks with Rise Energy. I'm about to boot up I'm about to boot up do 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 this Black Comic Lords video because truthfully, I have thoughts and I want to talk about it. Because they did, like, I was told they did a 3-hour stream yesterday. And I would like to look at it. Oh, it was like a TikTok time. Okay. Let me see how this sounds. Okay, that should work. That should work. Ooh, that doesn't go there. Ooh, you don't even know my sound settings.
It's the Wednesday wrap-up show, and Chocolate's already messing it up.
Me. You know what? Yes, I take full responsibility. Heavy
This
is the
is
head.
what happens when Derek's not here.
Nigga, I'm done for the day.
Derek.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
done for the day. You can have it. Ready. Y'all know that. I'm always ready to go.
It's all right, Black man. We all make mistakes.
Ladies and ladies, if you don't know who we are the Black Comic Lords. We are here with the fearless leader, Paul, the one and only Oracle, giving you amazing interviews with Hollywood's elite. And then the one and only Big Phil from Collections in Black, always making sure that, you're going to have some fun. Curated original pieces of art. No print, no AI. Boys and girls, once again, we are the Black Comic Lords. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to Hirsch. Shout out to Derek. Yes, sir. What up, people?
We here.
He said we here.
He said
we are here. That's all. We are here. I think today is going to be we got a lot to talk about today.
That's the hotness.
Now wait
the
a second. Hey, Paul.
I mean,
before you do all of that, sir.
What you got?
Can we talk about this past weekend? We got a lot of things we want to cover. Black people, and just people in general. We got a lot of things we want to cover. But one of the big things that happened, you've heard us talk about this all year, and OAX finally came around, and it was everything that it was supposed to be. It is an original art collector's dream. Even if you're not a big original art collector, it is. I do believe that if you're just a comic fan in general, you need to be there. You need to be there. I can't stress that this. Besides from my particular events, I'm going to say that OAX is probably my favorite gathering of collectors, dealers, artists, because what happens is, in my opinion, it goes from being you're at a con to feeling more like it's a family reunion. If that makes sense. It feels like it's a reunion. I mean, especially, I'll say this. He's part of the team, so we out here, we out here spreading love. Jack Kirby Awards. Listen, there's a lot of.
That's why it's so valuable, because there's no copies of it.
Well, I'm
say it again, Angel. Say it again for him. Has artist original art. The artist sells their Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
I'm talking about the actual sale.
For that, the audience understands when we say original art.
We like that.
For the Dazzler.
Up on the table.
Con, I'm down there. Listen.
Who's a phenomenal.
Now there's a brother from the crib named Jared. I didn't getting called out, Phil.
And of course, your boy, the one and only Mike, the Six Layers. You can only get this content where? Here on the Black Comic Lord. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, Twitter or X.
Watching us on YouTube is a button called the hype button.
Let's go. Let's
Hit
go.
the hype. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit a mini version of a larger picture that sells for like $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Cassara was
I'm like waiting to figure out where the conversation is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Paul, I mean, I'm saying Paul. Phil's sitting there going, womp, 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 womp. All he hears is print, 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 print.
different things.
But it's
Marvel Comics doesn't care about black characters.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That we've a discussion about
All right, here we go.
the milestone Dakota incident book that's dropped today.
I mean, if we're gonna do it right, come on now.
Shout out to the whole crew team: Joe Illidge, Stephanie Williams, Morgan Hampton, Nicholas Draper Ivy. Did I leave anybody else out?
Beautiful.
Joe, Stephanie, Nick, Morgan
Hampton. Yes.
No, you're good. Writers. I mean, Edwin Gallman, and World Designs. I mean, the list goes on and on. You got the highest level of the highest level.
Talent on this book.
Yeah.
It was interesting over the past week that we've had a lot of debate in the space about should we support this book. This is amazing to me. For there ever to be a question as to whether the black comic book collecting community should be supporting a Milestone Comics book. Do you live in interesting times where people don't fact check anymore? Up is down, down is up. Felons can become presidents.
Ooh.
You can yell, nothing happens.
One thing I would never have predicted is that there are elements of the black comic collecting community that would have anything other than positive things to say about Milestone Comics. I saw a video someone did where they actually said Black Indies versus Milestone.
That's insulting.
Stupidest thing ever.
Even if it's an inflammatory title just to try and get clicks, it's just kind of disrespectful from the concept.
Talk about it.
Not everything's worth a click. But
I like that.
Be that as it may.
Milestone versus the world, baby.
Be that as it may, it's important that we contextualize the importance and significance of Milestone Comics.
Speak on it.
I get it. I get the debate. I get the debate about, well, we don't want to support DC Comics because DC Comics hasn't had a black lead character in 1,000 days or whatever the challenges of people are talking about. DC Comics clearly doesn't care about black characters is a statement. Marvel Comics doesn't care about black characters. Both of these companies have hundreds of black characters at disposal, and you have the foremost black superhero in the world, the Black Panther. It's his 60th anniversary this year, and he does not have an ongoing title.
Yeah.
That boggles the
Mm-hmm.
mind. They just ended Miles Morales to do reprints of his digital books.
Mm-hmm.
They ended Storm early to do a silly storyline that no one cares about as a crossover. No disrespect to Maria Ayadele, his storyline was fine, but ending his storyline
so that they could do a crossover just made no sense. And then to reboot the book all over again. We don't know if that's going to be ongoing. It all depends on the pre-order sales. But these are the times that we live in. I've had people make comments in the space about, well, should we? Why are we giving all this attention to Milestone when we could be spending? You should give all this energy to Black Indies, like it's a us versus them thing.
Talk about it.
It's not for me to talk about because I have plenty of thoughts on it. Instead, there are two brothers that made some posts today, I think it was, last 24 hours, that I thought were really good viewpoints from different perspectives because I'm just a fan. But it's interesting to get the perspective of this debate about the importance of these books, this particular book, this company, and the industry from both the retailers and a publisher's and creator's perspective. So to that, I give you Mr. Mike Davis of Words Underground and Ray Anthony Kite of Sky Tiger Productions. Studio.
Round of applause, baby. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Oh, so he brought in the big hitters for this. Okay.
I know. That one was on me. I'll take that one.
How y'all brothers doing?
I'll take that one.
Doing good. Doing good. Blessings. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got me. I'm being held together right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
I know you're under the weather, Ray. I
Right,
appreciate
because of
you.
you, I was like, yeah, let's do this. Plus, it's a topic we need to talk about.
That's right.
It's a topic we need. Both you guys made some
Real quick.
very good posts today. And I think you have a different way to look at it. Given that the debate is why don't we support other Black indie creators? Let's start with you, Ray. You're a Black indie creator, a successful Black indie creator.
Most definitely.
You have worked in this industry for decades at every level.
So, before I let Ray go on, I have some thoughts. I have several thoughts because genuinely, I remember when, what was it? Tony Weaver popped up on Threads a few days ago. And like all love to Tony Weaver, the man. His mission when it comes to Nerds for Literacy is so important. But genuinely, he popped up and was like, why are we even bother trying to give DC or Marvel our attention? And there's a certain level of credence to that. There's a certain level of like, he's got a point. But at the same time, I do want to say that while I love and appreciate what Tony is trying to say, while I love and appreciate what Tony's trying to do and trying to speak on, I feel as if it comes off very dismissive to individuals who want to be represented and to see heroes that are able to stand up on the same level and precipice as Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Captain America, etc. Like, it feels as if he's trying to say that we shouldn't even bother fighting for our own representation and to stand toe-to-toe with those giants. It feels as if we should just go play in our own sandboxes and hope that we get big enough and hope that we are able to grind hard enough and that the Black community will take a look at us. But the problem with that mind thinking is, yes, there are some of the greatest indie Black comics out there right now. Like Impound is putting in work. Concrete Comics, I had a conversation with them earlier today, that I'm going to be talking with them, trying to showcase them more when it comes to their work. I just read their book Acolyte, which I love to death. Summit Comics, I just funded their Kickstarter for like their big launch. The big problem with trying to say that we can't fight for representation from these bigger publishers, it feels as if Tony is trying to throw in the towel and say we shouldn't even bother to fight for our right to stand toe-to-toe We need to only fight for our niche in the corner. We should only be fighting in the corner and hope that other black folks will come take a look at us. But here's the problem with that kind of world think. We can't even get brothers to come check out a comic book at their local comic book shop. You really think you're gonna convince folks to come check out your stuff at like on Kickstarter, at like random things like that? Granted, there has been a lot of success when it comes to doing that, when it comes to different Facebook groups and to getting different books funded. There has been so much success when it comes to TikTok, especially. There has been some of the greatest books ever published via TikTok, especially. TikTok has been a great avenue to get people's books out there. But the idea and the concept of trying to say that we shouldn't even bother to step in the room and try to stand toe to toe with these giants, with these like different characters, it feels as if we aren't like on the same precipice. You're trying to say, and I get the way Tony's trying to phrase it. He's trying to say we're better than that. We don't need the white man's dollar. We can go do it ourselves. But at the same time, what's at the movie theater every week? What's on the TV screen every week? The white man's product. And what whether we like it or not, what is the black community going to be absorbing 9 out of 10 times? The white man's product. So us trying to break boundaries and create avenues to where we can get and be a part of and grow alongside the white man's product is a very prolific thing that I don't think we're thinking about a lot. And it definitely lends credence to the idea that we can't just push DC and Marvel away. We need to call them out for their racism. We need to call them out for their discrimination and then work to improve the system. Because there's something to be said about the people who are choosing not to pre-order books. I can only throw so much shade at DC's feet. I can only throw so much shade at Marvel's feet. Because the truth of the matter is, we aren't going to the comic shop. We aren't going to the comic shop and purchasing these books. And even when we do go to the comic shop, you see a lot of brothers and sisters being more drawn to Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Batman. They are so mentally trained to only support the white man's imprinted concepts. So the best thing we can fight for is an attempt to do is be imprinted and be alongside them in those avenues. Because here's the thing. We can't just allow DC and Marvel just to have a sea of white and allow us to be tokens easily spent forever. We need to fight to change those narratives. And that's not to say the effort and the work that people like Ray Anthony Height or Mike Davis are doing, or the Black Comic Lords are doing, or Impound, or Concrete Comics, or Summit Comics, the work they are doing is the same thing that the Image founders did. It's the same thing that Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cowan, Michael Davis, Derek T. Dingle all did, because Milestone is its own company. It's just published through DC. So these folks were influenced and grew from the concepts of Milestone, grew through the concepts of Image, etc. But we can't just act like normal run-of-the-mill casual fans don't just only buy MCU shit, don't only buy DC shit. We need to still fight to be represented, but at the same time, we need to educate people on how this damn system works. Such a great point. Thank you, Guevara. Thank you. I appreciate you. I feel like I'm ranting at the wall right now because like not a whole lot of people are here. I feel kind of bad because I kind of threw shade for the first time in a hot minute towards somebody on Threads a little bit ago, because I was just kind of done, because and like part of me feels bad because there is two types of folks that are really enjoying, like that are absorbing the context of that are absorbing the context of the Dakota incident. The people who are absorbing the Dakota incident are twofold. That you're either someone who is just really happy to see Static, really happy to see Hardware, Icon, etc., or you're somebody who's genuinely understanding the text. You're someone who is genuinely understanding what's going on. And if you understand what's going on when it comes to the entire situation, your brain is going to function a lot differently because you see the issues at hand. You see the issues at hand that are going on. I know somebody did not just try to accuse BJ Kicks of being on the DC payroll. I'm gonna make a joke about that on the podcast this week. Someone really tried to accuse my mans of being on the DC payroll. That's funny. I'm gonna give him shit for that. when he comes on the podcast this week, I'm gonna give him shit for it. I'm like, the brother who apparently is on the DC payroll, just to mess with him. Matter of fact, let's watch BJ's video because I'll come back to the Black Comic Lords one. Because I'm gonna have to sit down and absorb that. I can't type for shit. He's gonna kill me. I'm not subscribed on my creator account. Crazy. Let's fix that. All right, let's watch it.
Did Statics and
a month ago, Static made a surprise appearance in the DCKO event. There was Dakota's Superstar in a book alongside Jonathan Kent and Granny Goodness, sporting a new look, by the way, to which the fandom collectively went, wait, what? How? Readers were first clued in on this possibility with Mark Waid's New History of the DC Universe. It was a 4-issue miniseries that basically served to clarify DC's continuity.
Who's a black character that you would like to make an ongoing series for? Here, I'm gonna make that into a video real quick. Garney, you're getting a video made out of you. Let me grab this. Let me grab my snip tool. No, because genuinely, I haven't posted a video today, so I figured I might as well just use Garnet's thing here. I am live over on YouTube, folks. We are 150 people from getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So come help if you get a chance. Who's a black character that you would like to make an ongoing series for? Here's the thing. When it comes to, I'll give you 4 answers. I'll give you 4 specific answers. I'll give you 2 per company. Actually, let me never do that. I will give you 2 per. Actually, no, let me do that. I will give you 2 comic books per big. I can't talk for shit. I will give you 2 comic book ongoing series from both of the big 2 right now. You ready for this? I'm gonna make it real easy. There should only be 2 ongoing comics, debatably 3, that are being greenlit at DC right now. Black Lightning and Vixen. The third one being Static, because Static needs to be the next big thing coming out of this event, this giant event that we've made the Dakota incident out of. But for me personally, the 2 books that I really need to see DC put up right now are Black Lightning and Vixen. Black Lightning is your first ever Black Lightning was your first ever comic book superhero that was black to have his own ongoing series at DC. And in that 50 years, next January, it'll be 50 years since Black Lightning got his first ever comic book. He has only had 41 single issues. 41 single issues across 50 years. How is that possible? Not even like, how is that possible? Like, they're not even all ongoings either, because some of them are miniseries, some of them are ongoings, and it doesn't make any sense to where you would treat this character who even had his own TV show so poorly? How is that functionally possible that you have treated this character? How is that functionally possible that you have treated this character so poorly that he has only had 41 issues in 50 years? It makes no sense. And that is broken up over multiple different miniseries, multiple different things. It fundamentally makes no sense. He is a teacher. He is an Olympian. He is a principal. He was Secretary of Education. He genuinely has done so much to mentor the next generation when it comes to making them better. And yet, for some reason, he's just treated like dog water. He should be the fourth pillar of the DCU. I don't care about Nightwing. I don't care about Harley Quinn. I don't care about The Flash. I believe firmly, without a shadow of a doubt, that Black Lightning should be the fourth pillar of the DCU next to the Trinity. And I will die on that hill. The next one needs to be Vixen. The other series that I would greenlight from DC is Vixen. Vixen literally could be one of the greatest success stories in the history of DC Comics, and yet for some reason y'all don't seem to realize that, or like DC doesn't seem to realize that. I made a whole video where I talked about this, where I gave DC a brand new idea for free, and like you don't have to worry about licensing, you don't have to worry about putting my name on it. Just literally take it. I take that idea that I gave you and run with it. Give the book to Stephanie Williams. Make I made the reference to Beyonce once, but the better allegory would be Rihanna when it comes to things like Savage X Fenty. The idea that you make Mari McCabe the biggest thing in fashion in the DC universe while also making her the most important thing when it comes to the animal kingdom. You could easily make her a powerhouse when it comes to your stories, and you're choosing not to. Why? When it comes to Marvel, it's simple. Black Panther needs to always have an ongoing series. That is a fundamental fact that he just passed his 60th anniversary, let alone 50th, his 60th anniversary, and he doesn't have an ongoing series. He is a mini series right now spinning out of an event that apparently DC canceled early because it wasn't doing well in the eyes of fans who weren't really interested in it. Black Panther needs a series. They need to stop with this space Wakandan nonsense, and they actually need to explore things in his own they need to stop with this space Wakanda nonsense and actually explore things when it comes to his actual like mythology and things that are going on planet Earth. They need to revisit M'Baku, whether it be bringing him back from the dead or doing something else. Stop with this, we'll just have Winston Duke be an ally nonsense and give him actual villains from Earth again. But for some reason, we ran out of ideas for villains for T'Challa, so we just said, screw it, space Wakandans. What? The other one that is so simple to me, the other one that is so simple to me is Luke Cage. Genuinely, why is it that Luke could be literally mayor of New York City and not have an ongoing comic book? Why is it that Luke Cage is the mayor of New York City and doesn't have a comic book right now? It makes no sense to me. I genuinely don't understand what's wrong with, I genuinely don't understand what's wrong with Marvel, why they're not capitalizing on this, telling different stories, especially with what happened with the mayorship in New York City as of late, actually exploring, like trying to deal with corruption and things like that. I don't understand what's going on over there. But those are just 4 pitches right there where I would go in and fix everything with DC and Marvel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Drop me a follow. Have a great day. Oh yeah, I could easily get that under 3 minutes. That's an easy one. They sound good. I appreciate you, Garnet. I appreciate you. Because I genuinely can't for the life of me understand why DC is like this. Honestly, or like DC and Marvel, to be honest with you. This entire book just gives me hives. And I'm so not excited to talk about it. But Jesus. All right, let's watch BJ's video.
As of early 2026. Inside, Mark Waid references Icon crash landing on Earth in 1839, as well as the Big Bang that gave birth to Dakota's metahuman population over 150 years later. He
teased that Static and the other Dakota heroes popped up briefly after the Big Bang, but that something mysterious happened and they kind of just went away. And for more answers, we'd have to wait for this: the new history of the DC universe, the Dakota Incident. And I'm breaking it down today. And to help me out, I brought the entire writing team for the book: Joseph P. Illidge, Stephanie Williams, Morgan Hampton, and Nicholas Draper Ivy. They're going to break down Easter eggs, editorial intentions, and anything else we may have missed on first read. Now, I have a couple of quick notes. Now, first, I am definitely going to spoil the overall plot for the Dakota Incident. So, if you had plans on reading this, you definitely need to read that before you check this out. This is basically going to be like the director's commentary special feature on your Blu-ray. But if you do decide to stick around, then you're going to walk away from this video with an understanding of just how Milestone's heroes fit into the DC universe and what that means for them moving forward. I spent over 5 hours talking to everyone on the creative team about this book, and those interviews are not going to be able to fit in this video. So if you want to hear my full unabridged conversations, you need to join our Patreon community. Links are in the description down below. But now, let's dive in. The story of the Dakota Incident is told in 5 parts, and we begin with a prologue by Nicholas Draper Ivy with art by Edwin Gallman. Several years in the future of the Milestone.
You know what? You know what, Garnet? You get a second video today because that's something I wanted to talk about for a hot minute. You getting a second video today, girl. Who are 2 black characters from different universes you want to have a crossover? Okay, so like I have 2 that I desperately need. I have 2 different crossovers that I desperately need that I don't understand why DC and Marvel didn't think this through. The first one, I don't understand why it didn't happen. I don't understand why it still hasn't happened and we haven't seen it announced because of the Superman and Spider-Man team up. Why on earth did we not get a Miles Morales, Virgil Hawkins team up? Why on God's green earth did we not see Miles Morales Spider-Man versus Virgil Hawkins Static? It would be like the perfect thing. We always kind of hear from people that, oh, Virgil walked, that way Miles could run. But no, both of them ran. Both of them ran off the backs of their predecessors and have continued to grow in different ways and whatnot because of their predecessors. And genuinely, I loved what I got with the Batman Deadpool, like Virgil and Kamala Khan book that was really cute between Dennis and G. Willow Wilson. But I felt as if we deserved something different. I felt like it could have been Cody Ziegler and Dennis Cowan crafting the ultimate Virgil v. Miles, and it would be the greatest story ever told. And I don't understand why anybody didn't think this through, why anyone didn't make this happen. And I don't know if we're ever gonna get it. And it makes me so mad that we're like, that just hasn't happened. The other one is I need the meeting of the first. I need Black Panther v. Black Lightning, because we see that parallel in the Black Panther movie of, because we see that, Jesus Christ, because we see that parallel in the Black Panther movie of Killmonger versus T'Challa, the idea that they grew up in different worlds. So Killmonger sees the entirety of Wakanda differently. He sees his brothers and sisters enslaved across the entire world when it comes to America and the UK and things of that nature. But what if you actually had somebody that sees the slum, sees the hood, and sees things from a more educated perspective, but still went back to the hood to take care of those people? You would have Jefferson Pierce. You would have someone who was an Olympian, someone who was an intellectual, who went back to take care of his like people. He went back to actually care for them and stayed there versus someone like T'Challa, who, well, yes, he studied in America at times. He has a different worldview. He has a different perspective on things. So it would be really interesting to see Jefferson step into Wakanda. It would see the idea that his people could have lived in prosperity this entire time, and yet like T'Challa and the Wakandans just abandoned them. And it would make Jefferson question his entire journey, his entire mission to be there for his people when his people were here the whole time, not caring about his people over here. It would be such a great idea and such a great examination of everything that we know about these two individuals, and yet we didn't get that either. And I would love for the first characters of both companies to meet in that way. But those are just my ideas. Let me know what team ups, what black characters you want to see meet up, and drop off me a follow. Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. You like these ideas? Hell yeah. You know, what's good, Husky? Yo, thank you for the gift, bro. I just saw that heart you gave me, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. How you doing? Those are some fire ideas. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm blessed, brother. Can't complain. I would even like Vixen and Black Panther. Vixen and Black Panther would be very interesting, especially because Dwayne McDuffie at one point had the DC equivalent of Anansi go up against Mari in his Justice League run. So like her perspective on the African mythos would be very interesting, I feel like. Vixen v T'Challa would be a very interesting conversation, I would say. Give me Bishop and John Stewart. Nah, I'll do you one better. Give me Blue Marvel and John Stewart. Give me Blue Marvel and John Stewart. Blue Marvel and John Stewart would go hard. Because you have somebody who's forced into space who only had a military background, and then you have someone who had a military background who studied his surroundings and his environments and whatnot, and studied space and things of that nature, who has like a very high intellect, having to work together when one has, for lack of a better term, space street smarts, but then has book space smarts, if that makes sense. Like, that would be a really interesting dynamic, I would say. John Stewart v. Blue Marvel would be the greatest thing ever, I would say. You know, because like Bishop and John Stewart, that's just two soldiers. That's not gonna be too exciting to me. But that's just me.
Amistad Irvin is serving as a hero named Beacon. Amistad, you may remember, is the son of Raquel Irvin, aka Rocket, from the Icon series. Here, he's in the middle of a battle with Shiv, a villain you may remember from Static Season 1 or the Static Shock animated series. Throughout the fight, Beacon is communicating with Static, who he refers to as Uncle Verge. While Static is clearly leaning into family life, Beacon is trying to figure out where to put away this villain, until something strange happens. Shiv starts to combust, his body giving way to hot, bright light beams. And as Beacon soon notices, it's not just Shiv. He can't get a hold of any of his loved ones, and the world seems to be ending before his eyes. And before he disappears along with it, he escapes into the time stream, and that is where our journey begins.
Because originally I think it was going to be like a Raquel was going to be like just narrating it or something like that, and then there was like a different idea where, wait a minute, we've got Beacon, you know, who is in the Static Beyond, you know, thing. Why not make it into like one of those stories where he's almost like a Trunks character, you know?
Yeah.
Go back and, you know, get Static to, you know, just do something like that. That was kind of the idea, and we just kind of just ran with it. But because he's there, he's like the through line between all of these different iterations, these different versions of Static. But he also sees the alternate timelines of like how like it could have happened this way, it could have happened that way, you know. So it's like they're all canon now. Pick one, just pick your lore. It doesn't matter at this point.
The opening credits see us falling through the history of the DC universe, through Absolute Power and Doomsday Clock to Death Metal, past Jeff Johns, JSA, and Teen Titans.
Hold on. You got two that I want to match up. Oh, I just realized that my space bar is like making recordings. I'm an idiot. Shaking my head. I might need to fix that hotkey. But Mr. Terrific. Okay, Mr. Terrific. Blade. Ooh. Hold on. Let me grab my snip tool. You just made my brain think. Husky, you got my brain thinking. Ooh, Lord, you got my brain twerking. You got my brain twerking, Husky. I got two. Hold on. I got two. I want you to match up. Mr. Terrific, Blade. Ooh. You just took two of my favorite characters of all time and said, put them in a room. And I'm not going to lie. This would be really intriguing because it examines something that we've seen Batman do occasionally, like they saw with Justice League Dark. This idea that you take somebody who vehemently does not believe in magic at first. This idea that even when he tried to learn magic, he was told no, he wasn't allowed to learn magic. And you re-examine that from someone like Mr. Terrific, who exists and sees magic all the time. But then when written by a black writer, you have this idea where you see vampirism brought to the forefront and have an intellectual who believes in nothing but science has to then deal with the idea of vampirism existing, the ideas of like magic existing on that level. I would love, that would be one of the greatest crossovers in the history of the game that I don't know if we would ever get, but the idea of someone, especially like Blade, the idea that Blade is one of those guys that thinks he knows everything about the game. If you even read Cody Ziegler's Miles Morales, like he thinks he knows everything about vampires. He like, even though some things he even got wrong when it comes to trying to beat a really old ass vampire, and Miles and his daughter have to help. Like genuinely, I would love to see Mr. Terrific learn more about vampires from the ancient texts and then have to school Blade and them have to work together. Like, oh, that would be such a crazy idea. And then like Blade having to rely more on technology, even getting new tools to fight back against vampires. Oh, I would love that right there. I'm surprised Mr. Terrific and Hardware never met. Yo, it's so funny you say that because I was just having a conversation with somebody about this where I even said Mr. Terrific and Hardware would be the greatest thing on sliced bread, because how awesome would it be to live in a world where two black men are as smart, if not smarter than Batman? Like, wouldn't that be such a great story? The idea that we have to examine a world where Curtis Metcalf and Michael Holt are smarter than Batman and they are able to match him toe for toe when it comes to intellect. That would be the craziest story that no one's ever thought about. And I don't understand why. Like, that is the one thing that I want out of Milestone being in this new universe is Mr. Terrific and Hardware having to team up to deal with Batman's tomfoolery. But let me know what you guys think in the comments of the Blade and Mr. Terrific or the Hardware and Mr. Terrific. I think these are great ideas. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day. Blade v. Terrific v. Hardware. Yo, BJ, someone came up with a great idea of Mr. Terrific v. Hardware. And I was like, yo, that'd be the funniest shit. Well, first it started out as Mr. Terrific v. Blade. And I was like, yo, both of those go so hard. Cause I was just talking to Nicholas Draper Ivy about Hardware and Mr. Terrific, because I even said that shit would go stupid. That like the idea of Mr. Terrific and Hardware would go stupid.
Time after the events of Nightfall and the death of Superman, at the beginning of the Dakota universe. And that brings us to Act 1, which is written by Joseph P. Illidge, with art by Valentine DeLandro, and colors by Marissa Louise.
Hey, yo, so like, if anyone wants to know who this beautiful brother on screen is, his name is BJ Kicks. He is the host of Comics Are Dope. He's in the chat right now. So like, over on TikTok, if you want to like say hi to this man, he's in the chat. Like, holla at your boy. He's the dopest man next to me talking about comic books. So definitely give him his flowers. This video is phenomenal. Man got interviews with everybody from the creative team to talk about, like, basically do like a director's cut, talking about the entire Dakota incident. So definitely make sure you give him his flowers in the chat, because man is phenomenal.
Act 1 feels largely like a Cliff Notes history of Milestone. It feels like a retelling of the history that Dakota Universe fans already know.
Who you interviewing? Who you interviewing? Who you talking to? Who you got that I don't got? Who you talking to? Who you sitting down with? I'm jealous.
Of course, it's not quite that simple.
Milestone was the place that gave me a home, where I started my career in comics, and where I met the people who would help identify my purpose. And so to be able to write of that time for all audiences, right? For the OG Milestone audience, the new generation Milestone audience, and people who will discover these characters for the first time was a profound joy.
We watch as industrialist inventor Edwin Alva proposes a solution to the mayor of Dakota for the growing crime and gang activity on Paris Island, not to mention the social activists flooding the streets. The solution is called Operation Big Bang. A special tear gas will tag gang members and social activists with a radioactive marker.
I love that they tried really delicately to blend the two origins of the Big Bang. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is that there were a lot of people who genuinely were upset with the Black Lives Matter origin of the Big Bang back during Milestone Returns. I don't understand that. That was stupid. I don't understand why people would be upset about that. I loved it. I thought it was a great idea. But if anything, this is still doing what Milestone set out to do, which is keeping the Big Bang culturally relevant, which, if you look at our society right now with all the different protests that are going on and whatnot, this lines up almost perfectly in the best way possible. And they've almost mixed the two origins together in the best way. And I love that shit.
Making it easy for them to be rounded up later. Eager to make Dakota great again, Mayor Jefferson agrees.
Making Dakota great again. BJ, why you have to say that?
With the tactics. And though the result was a lot of death, Edwin Alva is hailed as a hero for ending the gang wars. Meanwhile, Alva's protege, Curtis Metcalf, is looking for a greater role with his company. He wants to be a partner, but Alva scoffs at the idea. Instead, he shifts blame to Curtis for everything that went wrong at the Big Bang, where hundreds were killed. Those who weren't killed at the Big Bang were turned into metahumans. The Blood Syndicate arose as a superpowered gang, using their abilities to sort of self-police activity on Paris Island. Bang Babies rose with more sinister intentions too, and supercrime was on the rise. That is, until Static appears on the scene as the first superhero. Elsewhere, Raquel Irvin discovers Augustus Freeman's powers and convinces him to become a hero. Icon.
To your point, he was the first Bang Baby, as the people who survived and gained superpowers from the event called the Big Bang were called. But I also did metatext there because Hardware was the first Milestone hero.
Yes.
And Hardware was the one designed to be the flagship character.
Yes.
But because of the Static Shock cartoon, Static became the flagship character. Right? And so Static has obviously taken on a significance that I don't think
Nope.
Even if it was desired, I'm sure the founders in their mind said, we would love there to be a static cartoon. But to see the impact it had, and unfortunately Dwayne did not live long enough to see the full impact it had and continues to have. Static is the tip of the spear. He is the beacon. So it made sense from a story point of view to say that. To say that the first one that would be called a hero was Virgil Hawkins, right? And then what happens is Virgil then inspires others. So
Yo, I am so sorry, YouTube people. Holy shit. Holy crap. There have been people talking in my YouTube chat this entire time, and for whatever reason, my multi-chat has not been working. I am so sorry. Hold the fuck up. Oh my god, why is it not working? I am so sorry, YouTube. Y'all probably think I'm so ignorant that I have not been paying attention. Yo, I am so sorry. Charlie, hold on. Charlie, dang, I am so sorry. I did not know anyone was here. Give me like 2 seconds. I need to catch up on YouTube for a second. Holy shit. Let me pull up my stream, my streamer bot. Holy shit. What is going on, YouTube? Why have you let me down? No. I'm mad because I hate the idea that I didn't know y'all were here. And it makes me mad. So I have to go like look through my shit now and figure out where y'all have been this entire. Yeah, it says 0 monitor. What the fuck, bro? Log out. Let me log back in. That's so. It says 0 monitor. Why does it say 0 monitor? Oh, now wait. Oh, now it says it's monitoring. That's so weird. Why did it not? It's not even showing me anything on the chat log though, which sucks. So I have to like go through here manually. Hold on. I need to catch up on chat. Hold on. Hold the fuck up. Matter of fact, let me flip it to, wait, there's a caution label. It's not like fully updating on the this side either. Volume is a little low, Diesel. Oh, Diesel, what are you doing over on Twitch? What the fuck? Oh, like for the stream? Okay, there we go. But also, Diesel, thank you for coming over, bro. Let me read. Illage was in my freaking YouTube chat. This man saw his own face on my screen. Oh my god. Don't give corporations your ideas for free. Hold on. I gotta pull this up. Hold on. Like, nah, I'm gonna show my analytics for a minute. I'm so mad. I'm gonna have to like hit him up later and be like, yo, let me move by. Hold on, let me do this. Man, I was geeking out, bro. Hold on. I'm so upset right now. Let me like, we'll do it this way. Let me just, we'll do it like that. We'll do it like that. My head's too big. I never did do a right side. Here, we'll do it like this. We'll We'll put it like right there. We'll put it like right there. Wait, I can pull it up. Yo, I'm so angry. I missed Illage in my chat. I'm so annoyed. Oh, yo, I'm so angry. Don't give people your ideas free. I will always give. If I can make this shit better, I will always give away ideas for free. Damn it. I will always give corporations ideas for free. Oh, now YouTube wants to show up now. Man, I'm so mad. I should have tested that before stream. I'm so mad. I've been sitting here. Yo, we need more live streams. Yo, bro, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to start doing live streams. We're live on TikTok, but like all the time. But I want to start doing YouTube live streams talking about comic books and whatnot. So like, if y'all are gonna be here, we're almost to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Come through. But now I have to sit here and like figure out what all was said on YouTube because I'm freaking my chat was messed up because the streamer bot wasn't working. Okay, let's go through this. Let me catch up. What's up, bro? You follower recently? Yo, like supposed to say, I appreciate you, fam, for real. Their cyber terrorist ring is known as the Comic Book Whisper Network. They got Ed Piskor killed. What? The Comic Book Whisper Network? What is that? What? Genuinely understanding the text that essentially reflected DC treatment of Milestone characters being performed. Yeah, like no, that's the thing that like a lot of people. That's the biggest issue that's going on with this book right now, is that genuinely so many individuals don't understand the subtext in the metatextual conversations that Illidge and Williams and Hampton and Draper Ivy were talking about in this book, and it is so infuriating because like. I understand what so many individuals are just happy to see Static, happy to see Icon and Rocket and whatnot, happy to see Hardware, but it genuinely breaks my heart that like nobody understood the metatext. No one understood what was going on. Hey, yo, Bernie, thank you, fam. I really appreciate you. This is like my first ever time having people actually like be in my YouTube live stream. Like, thank you. This is crazy. I appreciate y'all. Pinot, I wonder. I appreciate what do you think Absolute Robin is gonna be like? If I had it my way, it would be Duke Thomas, but I know I can't have it my way. Like, if Scott Snyder really believed in the mission, Absolute Robin would be Duke Thomas, just to spit on the fact that ever since he left Batman in the New 52, nobody's cared about Duke Thomas like Scott Snyder cared about Duke Thomas. That's a fact. But it's what it is. Let me catch up on the YouTube chat real quick. Tom King is related to Roswell King, the man whose slaves all committed suicide. What? Gas Punk Fiction, brother. You want some stuff, brother. I need you to get some help. I would see Blue Marvel, yeah. And he's currently writing Batman. He's XCA. Brother. This is not a Tom King conspiracy board. I must say, like 100% correct on Black Lightning. Yeah, no, Black Lightning needs to get his respect on deck. I don't know why Black Lightning doesn't get his respect, and it pisses me off. Unlucky Dreamer said, I would argue Steel as well as Superman is disappearing after DCKO. Well, no, like Superman is disappearing after DCKO because I'm guessing there's going to be some cockamamie reason that Superman is the one that defeats Darkseid at the end of DCKO. So now we got to do a Prime, even though I fucking hate Prime. Milestone can dip on DC. Honestly, JP, they need to leave them. Hire some physicists to join their editorial. That would build up so much hype. Honestly, I would love to see a world where Milestone went to Image. I would love to see a world where Milestone went to Image and we just saw Milestone be utilized in a better way. Not that I will say to that. Blade Inspector Crispus Allen. Ooh, Blade and Crispus Allen. Ooh, that's sexy. Ooh. That's an idea. I like the way you think, brother. I like the way you think. Mr. Terrific and Blue Marvel. I thought Mr. Terrific and Blue Marvel, but like I said, I like the idea of John Stewart and Blue Marvel because I like the idea of both of them being military and having space street smarts versus space book smarts is my thought process. Like if you read Al Ewing's Ultimates, you kind of understand what I mean by that, where it's like genuinely Adam Brashear is very like book smart when it comes to space versus John Stewart, who's very like street smart, like cop oriented when it comes to his rounds in space. Luke Cage Mayor NYC would be a concept to follow. That's what I'm saying, is that like for whatever reason they don't want to give Luke Cage a book, and it pisses me the fuck off. I don't understand why they won't give Spawn and Pink Hammer. Honestly, I'm just happy Spawn's getting the love that he needs right now. Like Spawn, like Joseph Illidge, who was just in here, created Bloodletter for the Spawn universe recently. Gail Simone's getting to write She-Spawn right now. Like Spawn's finally getting to see like the world building that he always dreamed of, because McFarlane's letting more people play in his toy chest, and I'm really excited about that. But Charlie Wilson, thank you for coming through me. No, genuinely, I appreciate everyone who's coming through the YouTube chat. I appreciate folks who are in the TikTok chat. I am so sorry that I did not see chat. I'm so irritated. I gotta message Mr. Illich real quick and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. My YouTube chat function wasn't working, but now I'm caught up. I'm so sad that literally my hero was in my YouTube chat and I didn't even know. I am so sad, bro. Like, I am so sad. I didn't even know that my hero was in my chat. That is gonna drive me bonkers for a little bit. Like, I really missed out on my hero being in my chat. It's okay. He will show up again, I'm sure. Oh, probably, but AFDB is greater than image. Just AFDB. Why does that sound familiar? AFDB. Sorry, I've had a long day at work, so my brain's not where I wanted it to be. Like Dragon Ball AF? Or like the African Development Bank Group? I could be wrong, but like, let me know, dog. Let me know. Invite him back. Hey, yo, Sloan just sent me a video. Oh Lord, Sloan. Did you see what I bought yesterday? No, no, I did not see what you bought. What did you buy? The second one. Oh, the African Bank Group. Oh, that's fair. Well, cause like, here's the thing. Let me pull up off of Illich's face because I feel like I'm like violating this man's existence right now. So like, here's the thing. I was watching the Black Comic Lords live stream earlier today when it comes to the conversation of should people be going out to support Milestone and the Dakota incident versus just supporting Black indie comic books. Here's the thing. There is some of the best indie Black comic books out right now that are being funded by people that care about comic books, whether it be Ace Blade, Concrete Comics, Summit Comics. I just funded their Kickstarter that just was about to wrap up like right now. It just wrapped up. Like freaking, I'm blanking. Freaking. I'm blanking horribly. I was just like, it's gonna bug the shit. I just saw him live. I just saw his ass live, not even like 2 minutes ago. It's gonna drive me bonkers. It's gonna drive me bonkers. Dream Fury comics with things like Keisha Demon Eater. Like, there is so many great books that are being pushed out by people right now that people could go on to TikTok right now and find these creators and the work that they are doing. But at the same time, in the same breath, I say that genuinely, Milestone is what got a lot of people their inspiration. Milestone showed a lot of these Black creatives they could do their own work. And Milestone still owns their IPs. They still own these characters. The only thing that DC has is the publishing rights, and they have to ask Milestone to use them in a multimedia capacity. So they still own their work. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to, like, Jesus Christ. And that's the thing that a lot of people seem to forget, and why people need to still put respect on Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cowan, Michael Davis, Derek T. Dingle, the work they did to give us those stories. And a lot of these individuals that are putting out books right now wouldn't be where they're at if it weren't for Milestone. And there was one thing that, let me breathe. And there was one thing that Tony Weaver Jr., shout out to him, the work that he is doing when it comes to Nerds for Literacy is so valuable to our culture right now when it comes to the fact the literacy rate is so low. Genuinely, shout out to him. But he said something on Threads the other day that really bothered me, which was, why are we pushing so hard to support Milestone when we could be supporting Black indie authors and indie creators when DC and Marvel really don't care about us? Like, we're over 1,100 days when it comes to DC not giving us an ongoing. We're like 30 some days with Marvel right now. Genuinely, they don't care about us. But here's the thing, and I said this to him in reply, there are still so many of us who don't understand what Kickstarter is, who don't understand what the TikTok shop is, who don't understand that there are other avenues for comic books outside of the comic shop. They don't understand that there's a superhero world outside of DC and Marvel on the big screen. And genuinely, we even say this about normal comic goers and comic readers. We can't even get Black comic fans to pick up Black comics from DC and Marvel, but they can still go bust people to the movie theater to go see Black Panther. That's the big issue that we have right now, is that genuinely no one is actually supporting the comics they want to see unless it's do or die. That's the big problem that we have right now, is that everyone broke their backs to go support the Dakota incident, but they weren't around when Milestone Returns was coming out. They weren't around last year, the year before last, when there was Black Panther books coming out or Miles Morales books coming out. They only are showing up and showing out when it is do or die. And when they finally get around to giving us a book next year from DC, it's going to be do or die again. But the problem is, what happens after issue 1? What happens after issue 2? We need to say we want to stand toe-to-toe with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, etc. Like, we want to be up on those levels with those characters, and we need to support the Black Lightnings, the Vixens, the Mr. Terrifics, the Black Panthers, the Storms, etc. We need to support those characters. Otherwise, we can't say that we want representation. And when it comes to these amazing indie stories, we want to support them, but at the same time, we can't even get brothers and sisters to go into the comic shop. How are we going to get them to even look in the indie people's direction if they can't even walk into a comic shop? So it's definitely a battle on multiple fronts, and I feel like to ignore our history and ignore what Milestone did spits in the face of Dwayne McDuffie's memory and spits in the face of people like Dennis Cowan and Michael Davis and Derek T. Dingle and the people who worked at Milestone like Joseph Illich. But those are just my thoughts. Drop me a follow, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much. Have a great day. I don't know if I'm going to get that under 3, but I'm going to try. NDV Milestone. All right, let me catch up on chat. Yeah, I absolutely need a hardware or technique game. Bro, what I would do for a hardware game would be I would do anything. Like, that's the thing that even Illich talks about. Hardware was supposed to be their flagship character, not Static. So I would kill for hardware to be put in the spotlight more. Oslo, what's up, fam? I see your wave. What's up? How you doing? The more facts, the indies need to partner with organizations like the National Bankers Economic Association. To a certain extent, yeah, but I would argue that a lot of these indie titles need to take the followings they've been garnering on things like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, and bring that to Image, bring that to Vault, bring that to Ignition. Like, Stephanie Williams just dropped a banger this year with Roots of Madness, and she showed that she can do it. So those different people need to show that they can do it by approaching things like Image, Vault, Ignition, etc. Hey, Simple J, what's good, fam? The indies need to look to more sponsorships in the space of Black non-governmental organizations. There's literally hundreds that can get them the sales numbers. That's very true, but I think a lot of them just don't know they exist, if I'm keeping it a stack with you. I don't think a lot of them know. That's the issue at hand. I don't think they know. Man, this dude Bernie's gonna get me found out. Bernie's gonna get me found out because Bernie dropped the website early on Threads, and I'm like, I'm only leaving this up for a few minutes. If you see the this is a little preview for Sunday. If you see it, tell your friends, let them know. But this is a little preview for Sunday, just so y'all know. Matter of fact, I'll even drop it in the chat. I'll even drop it in the YouTube chat. One crossover I'd like to see is Tobias Whale versus like in Blockbuster. I'll raise you and say Tobias Whale and the Kingpin. Tobias Whale and the Kingpin would go real hard. Ooh, yeah, I need these. I love how I posted my my milestone compendiums on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I need them bitches." Tobias Whale and Tomb. That's just the same motherfucker. You can't do Tobias and Tombstone because that's just the same motherfucker now. Like you can't do that now. Like that's the same actor. Damn it. But yeah, everyone's been saying they love my compendiums. They're on my shelf right now. They're beautiful. I'm about to start collecting the Spawn compendiums because your boy loves me some Spawn. But yeah, look, got my poster behind me. Come on, man. Duke Thomas and Rocket? I would argue Duke Thomas and the Blood Syndicate. Take Duke back to his roots with We Are Robin. Duke Thomas and the Blood Syndicate would go real hard, I feel like. Or I want Black Lightning versus the Blood Syndicate. Black Lightning versus the Blood Syndicate would go stupid. Like, genuinely, I would love to see Black Lightning deal with the ideals of the Blood Syndicate. That would go stupid. My compendium should arrive Tuesday. Hell yeah. Don't tell me you got all of them, because these are expensive, Pinoy. Don't tell me you got all these, because these are expensive as fuck. Like, I had to drop a stack on it, like real quick, because I needed that bitch. I had to drop a bet on it because I needed these for my shelf, and mostly because I needed to counteract the negativity from Rob, because Rob pissed me off. Silvermane and Black Mask versus Deathlock. Ooh, I would argue Cyborg versus Deathlock. Cyborg versus Deathlock would go stupid. You didn't buy them all, and one's good. Good job, proud of you. Those bitches are expensive. Anansi and Bast would be, well, Garnet, if you read Miles Morales Spider-Man, you would have already seen a tease of Anansi versus Bast. If you would have read Miles Morales Spider-Man by Cody Ziegler, you'd already seen them kind of tease the idea of Anansi versus Bast. But not everybody read that shit. Magic Family versus Nightwing. Oh, interesting. I could get behind it. I'm over here talking and shiny. Turn some tunes on or something. It's quiet as fuck. I'm about to just turn this back on. Batwing and Hardware? I don't need it. I'm still stuck on Mr. Terrific and Hardware.
Listen, readers are sophisticated. They can intuit things. Raquel Irvin can conceptualize herself and Augustus Freeman as a superhero because Virgil did it. Because there is someone in a costume in disguise. That's now possible.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Curtis Metcalf goes digging for dirt on Edwin Alva. He learns that Alva's secrets go far beyond the Dakota city limits, and clad in a techno suit that he invented, Curtis goes to confront Alva as Hardware. But when he arrives at Alva's place, he finds him dead. And that's the first major deviation from the history we all know. And Amistad acknowledges that, hey, this didn't happen where I'm from.
How important is the distinction? Is it important to make a distinction between what we're seeing in this one shot and what we've seen in the past?
Hey, Pinoy, I appreciate you coming through for a little bit. Mal and Bumblebee versus the Blood Syndicate? Interesting.
I would say it's not important to make the distinction because, again, superhero universes are fluid intellectual properties and they go through change. I think what we tried to do to make it enjoyable for the fans is to say this is a fusion of OG Milestone and Milestone Returns, right? Because, and I bet you caught this, one example of that fusion would be Angela Alva exists in this continuity. Did you catch that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is a different past that's going to lead to a much different future, potentially. It turns out Edwin Alva was part of the Superman Project, a government scheme used to create superhumans and maintain oversight of them. In a secret arrangement.
So, like, I understand what Joseph is saying there. But one of my biggest concerns is that if Hardware only started right then when like he shows up and Alva's already dead, what issues of Hardware are canon? You know what I mean? Like, what issues of Hardware are canon? What stories did we get with Hardware prior to him finding Alva dead? Did he just make the suit and go confront Alva and Alva was already dead? Or like, what transpired when it came to that? Because that tells me that this could potentially be a version of Curtis Metcalf who hasn't learned the life lessons of just going out for revenge. And I want to understand that. I want to know how or what he's been up to this entire time, because those are the weird little blurred lines that I see here that we didn't really get conclusions on, and it bothers me. I want to understand that. That's right. It bypasses a lot. Yeah, man, it bypasses a lot. Like, and that's the thing too. There's a scene in the issue that they're gonna get to where straight up Hardware straight up is like, I'm ready to go to war if y'all motherfuckers are ready to go to war. And genuinely, of course there was an error. What the frack? But like there's a portion of it where Hardware straight up is like, hey, yo, y'all motherfuckers ready to go to war, we can go to war. He straight up says it took a war zone to get them to set foot in Dakota, and it was only 3 of them. Forgive me if I don't hold my breath. That's what I'm saying. I think if Augustus wouldn't have been down to protect Static and Raquel's families, this would have just been all out war. And I feel like it would have been really interesting to see the idea of this, but part of me also wonders how much of a stranglehold did the U.S. government have on these individuals post Luther's presidency? Because Luther didn't stay president forever. So like those are the kind of things that I wonder, because there is kind of a line towards the end of the book where Beacon kind of goes, hey, yo, the Blood Syndicate kept helping people. Other things kept happening. And like, that's cool. But it's also like, what else happened? Like, I want to know what happened with Curtis. I want to know desperately what happened with Curtis, because this tells me if Curtis didn't have as much of his story as we were led to believe from Hardware number 1 to Hardware number 50, that means he never got the collective tech from Icon. That means that he hasn't had the adventures and the growth and been with Technique and things like that. Like, those stories technically don't really, like, it seemed the other way around that Alva had a stranglehold on the U.S. government. Fair. But at the same time, what I was trying to say was, like, it feels like Lex has a stranglehold on Dakota, and I wonder how much the government would have kept a stranglehold on Dakota post Luther. That's what I want to know. Like, you're telling me that after Luther, they the government just kept digging on Dakota like this? That's what certain things just don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Where it's like, you really telling me that the whole U.S. government was going to throw hands with just these specific black characters? Like, it bugs my soul a little bit. We're definitely gonna be talking about the podcast this week with BJ, because it's very much gonna be like, hey yo, what the fuck? Because I'm like, hey, this don't make a whole lot of sense. This don't make a whole lot of sense. What the hell? Oh, Afro did like a year video. I was like, huh? I was like, why did I just get tagged in an Afro video? I was like, huh? And what's funny, freaking Ace Blade's like, hey, where'd this cover go? And I'm like, it got Augustus became mayor. That would be interesting if Augustus became mayor. Did they say that? That'd be kind of cool to know if Augustus became mayor.
That the government wouldn't be able to keep him in check like it did the other participants. And with Alva dead, it's only a matter of time before the US government comes to collect and make things hard for Dakota's heroes. Who's the government, you ask? Lex Luthor. And he's sending in the Suicide Squad. And that takes us to Act 2, which is written by Stephanie Williams with art by Carlo Pagulayan and Steven Segovia, with Jason Paz on inks and John Cleese on colors. Act 2 is all about the action. In an early morning ambush, Amanda Waller sends in her Suicide Squad, Bronze Tiger, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot, along with the U.S. military to neutralize the rogue metahuman threat. Their first obstacle, of course, is the Blood Syndicate. Fade, Masquerade, Tech-9, DMZ, and Wise Son are on the front lines. And boy,
where's Brickhouse?
Create a big bang. It is open season for anyone who gets in the military or the Suicide Squad's way. Icon and Rocket, Static, and Hardware all join the fray as well. Amistad is
No, I'm saying if fast forward and see Augustus became mayor of Dakota to make sure the ceasefire maintained. Interesting. I could see that. It'd be definitely an interesting dichotomy. I could definitely understand that.
Horrified to witness that the government is being so brutal to its citizens, but he's encouraged seeing all of Dakota's heroes fight back.
When I knew it was going to be boots on the ground, I said, all right. And I got to write Blood Syndicate, light them up. And it was just, it was so fun to just write.
Y'all don't understand how excited I am for next month, because next month I get to interview Stephanie, and like just that line, like, because like she was on my short list of people that I wanted to write a milestone book. It was either gonna be Static or Icon and Rocket, but then she surprised me on Threads today, and she said, I want to write Blood Syndicate. And I was like, oh yeah, I need that. So yeah, seeing her be excited about this. Hey yo, Dreamer, you and I need to have a conversation soon, sir. You and I need to have a conversation. Friend me on Discord. Same name, J Penumbra. Friend me on Discord.
The portion where you got to see some of the milestone characters just go to work against the people that are well established in the DC universe. Like when that Captain Atom, and I was like, well, because if Icon is going to throw hands with someone, then it needs to be. It's not going to be Superman. Then bring in the nuclear warhead.
After a few words with Hardware, Bronze Tiger is starting to have second doubts about his mission. He's not here to wage war on civilians, so he's got a tough choice to make.
Meanwhile, it's so funny. It's so funny because we just had this entire situation play out recently where there was a black ICE agent. And look what happened here. This idea that Bronze Tiger is essentially working for the government in a similar capacity, and they're having to explore that dynamic. And I genuinely think it's very interesting that this was so well timed in that way.
Adam, another agent.
Also, the fact that Augustus rocks this man's shit. Oh, Augustus rocked this man's shit. I get so tired of Captain Adam's military bitch ass. The fact that Augustus rocked this man's shit. Oh, so good. So good.
The U.S. government arrives to take on Icon. They seem to be an even match, and their massive blows send ripples through Amistad's body. The outcome of this fight can determine if Amistad's world fades away forever. The fighting continues, and by sunrise, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman have arrived on the scene to try to help the Dakota heroes keep the peace. After thinking about it for a while, Bronze Tiger finally makes his decision. He doesn't feel like he should have been a part of this system, and afraid he's on the wrong side of history, he decides to stand down from the mission.
The thing that kind of brought in Bronze Tiger being there in general was our whole thing was like, okay, well, in the DC universe, it's not just Batman, it's not just Superman, it's not just Wonder Woman. Like, how did Vixen?
Captain Adam was told to sit down, grown folks are working. Exactly. I get so tired of Captain Adam, bro.
Feel about this? How did Bronze Tiger feel about this? How did I mentioned Martian Manhunter because I was like, you know, he was walking around as a black guy in Denver, Colorado, but they were like, no, Stephanie, I was just trying to race a Martian Manhunter. But I was like, how did the black characters and just other black and brown characters in general feel about what was happening in Dakota? Like, I'm not saying that the characters that weren't black or brown would just kind of dismissive eye, but they was not even just sympathize with that, but like, you're going to pay attention to that in the same way that you know, definitely you think back to like 2020, in the summer of 2020, it's very difficult to be a black American and like turn a blind eye to what you already know has been going on, but now it's on a broader, like it's in the news, it's on social media.
Martian Manhunter could have been called into, because I think this takes place around the New 52 time. No, this takes place around like Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, technically. Like, this is supposed to be like 93 canon mixed with like 2003, 2004 canon was the idea here. Like, that's kind of what they're trying to say is like, because back in that time frame was when Luthor was president. Oh yeah, we going back. That's why, like, hold on, real quick. Where's the tweet? See, that's why I'm gonna make a video out of this real quick. So I want to set the record straight real quick because we're live on YouTube, live on TikTok, talking about all this. And I want to set the record straight because I talked about this on Twitter the other day. A lot of people are trying to have smoke for Jefferson Pierce, aka Black Lightning. And I'm not gonna have it. His 50th anniversary is next year. He is the first black superhero to ever have an ongoing in DC. Y'all are not about to have smoke for my mans right here. Because if y'all actually knew anything about comic books, if you pay attention to what's going on here, is that they're trying to blend the continuity of the 93 milestone stories with the continuity that was like early 90s, 2000s, Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, that animated movie type thing. They're trying to blend that whole era of DC into this flashback to when Amanda Waller was on Lex Luthor's payroll, Jefferson Pierce was Secretary of Education, Sam Lane was the Secretary of Defense, things like that. They're not just trying to say, oh, Jeff is agreeing with Luthor and stuff like that. No. He genuinely thought that Lex came to him with an offer to better the children who were living in poverty and had a lack of education. He thought this would be an opportunity to help people. And there comes a point when he finds out that Anissa, his daughter, is out running around with the outsiders, that he has to re-suit back up and help her as Black Lightning. And then shortly after that, he's then told that he has to resign from being Secretary of Education. He always was trying to better his people and do right by his people. But because people aren't fully understanding that this is like a time, like jumping back in a flashback, that they're over here like, oh, Black Lightning don't care about the milestone characters. Black Lightning is the OG here. Black Lightning is telling Virgil and Raquel that if they want to rebel, he supports them. He just can't do too much to help them. And I, for one, am going to get real tired of the people who are not paying attention trying to disrespect my mans. That's not about to work. So make sure that you are educating yourselves, read older comic books, and understand the continuity, because I will not have slander on Jefferson Pierce. Drop me a follow. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day. Black Lightning Defense. Off topic, but Black Lightning one shot from Final Crisis is the only good part of that story to me. Yeah, Dreamer. Black Lightning is the only good, like, Black Lightning, and I think a little bit of the Jon Stewart plot line from Final Crisis is definitely a banger to me. No Black Lightning disrespect on this YouTube. Bro, Black Lightning is my favorite DC superhero of all time. Literally, it goes like, it goes Black Lightning, Tim Drake, and everybody else. like genuinely, like, I love Jefferson Pierce so much. He means the world to me. Straight up. And he don't get the respect he deserves half the damn time. Also, shout out to TikTok for getting me to 2,000 likes. I appreciate y'all.
Right. So, to me, like, it wouldn't make sense that these characters wouldn't know. So that's kind of what brought up, because originally I was trying to do Bronze Tiger, Vixen. Of course, Deadshot was still going to be there, but because Lex Luthor is president at this time, the Suicide Squad that really is a Bronze Tiger, a Deadshot, Boomerang, and stuff. So that is how that came about. Us literally saying, well, how would the other Negroes feel?
That takes us to Act 3. Written by Morgan Hampton with art by Fico Ocio and colors by Ulysses Ariola. After hours of fighting at the hands of the US government, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman have some news for our heroes. Luthor is ready to agree to a ceasefire, but it's going to come at a major cost: prohibition of all metahuman activity. To stop the war on their home, Milestone's heroes would have to retire altogether. Immediately, they're split on what to do. Rocket can't believe Icon would consider abandoning Dakota citizens. Hardware's torn over whether to fight the power or acquiesce for the greater good, and as they mull it over, Luthor and his cabinet arrive. Luthor directs the DEO to destroy any evidence of Alva's metahuman experimentation. Meanwhile, he goes to negotiate the ceasefire with Dakota's heroes. Jefferson Pierce, now Secretary of Education, takes Static and Rocket off to the side while the adults talk things over. Static and Rocket are pissed, confused as to how Black Lightning could be a part of this evil administration. Jefferson makes his case, saying he thought having a seat at the table could help him affect real change on a macro level, but he's slowly come to realize that he can't really work in a system.
I didn't catch they were fighting for hours. I was half reading and half listening to my professor's lecture. Yeah, Dreamer, it'd be like that. Yeah, no, they genuinely were fighting for like all night with the government. They were going balls to the wall with those people.
That thrives on corruption the way this does. So he indicates that he's willing to look the other way if Static and Rocket decide they want to fight back.
I will say, you mentioned the thing with Black Lightning on my page. That was absolutely inspired by what she did with Bronze Tiger. When I had in her outline, I was like, oh, I need to do something. Again, going back to how this needs to feel very connective to the DC universe, I need someone else outside of our Milestone characters to kind of have a moment of like, yeah, this is not as good as it can be, I'm gonna help you do your thing your way or whatever. And for me, that was Black Lightning, and I absolutely got that inspiration, that good pressure from Steph. We don't even sometimes as fans respect Black Lightning. And maybe it's because he tries to toe the line a little too much because he's an older guy. Maybe he's a little bit too much in the middle, and and he's not as radical as like these two kids that he's in the room with. And that's why I wanted to use that page to explore that he's kind of aware of that himself. Um, and that's why he's not going to stop them. But he's also like, I've tried to play within the system, and you can't.
The fact that Amanda Waller is dismissive of everything that looks like her speaks volumes in itself. Yeah, Amanda Waller is a very interesting character that I've loved for like decades now that I've been a comic book fan, because she is the definition of somebody who believes in the system to the point that it is a detriment to her own people, where she believes that there is no color. There is no color to where, like, she doesn't see herself as a Black woman a good majority of the time. She sees herself as a woman first. Like, for her, there is no massage noir. There's only massage. There's only misogyny. And she feels as if she is going to conquer the system her way and do it her way and gain the respect that she needs to gain. And that's why like CCH Pounder was so prolific when she would voice Amanda Waller, or when Viola Davis has been Amanda Waller, or old girl from Smallville, I forget her name, but like those strong Black women who ran Amanda Waller like that. It shows that, like, even with Viola with like the messy, not giving a shit throw, showed a woman that didn't identify as Black. She identified as a person. And it showed a really compelling a really compelling argument to the idea that Waller views the world differently. And I need to go back and read Absolute Power, because I genuinely just skipped over Absolute Power. But like, unless those writers actually examine those concepts, but for the majority of her time in comic books, Waller has perceived the system differently than normal Black women would, from what I've been aware of. Crimson, hey, yo, Crimson, you and I gotta sit down at some point. Is this book the first to confirm the Superman theory? My only knowledge is Doomsday Clock. There's been stuff for years where there's been different little plot lines here and there that the Superman project was a thing, that like different the different government programs tried to create their own version of Superman. Captain Atom was one of them. There's been little hints and nods over the years that people thought they could make a better version of Superman to fight against Superman. So it's been explored in multiple different like avenues in DC's history. I'm about to say, yeah, history of the DC universe mentions it, yeah. So like, also Ivy, what's up? How you doing? Didn't get far enough into Smallville to see Amanda Waller. What is it? Not 10. It's either 10 or 11. Look for episode Checkmate, or there, like, I believe it's 10 or 11. Season 10 or 11. It's around the time that, not 11. No, before that. What episode? Hold on. Smallville. I forget. It's around the time they have the Justice episode. Thank you, Smallville Wiki. She was played by Pam Grier, which is freaking insane that I forgot about Pam Grier. But it was the Checkmate episode. Where the fuck? What episode was it? Oh yeah, it was absolute. Yeah, that's right. It was Absolute Justice. So that would be 9. It was at 9. So towards the end, but not like totally, because she showed up right in the JSA episode, and then during season 10, she starts to be more prominent. That was more of a thing. Yeah, no. In the New 52, they changed up her backstory to have the classic family death, so termination seemed justified, I guess. Yeah, they definitely did some weird stuff with the New 52, because Skinny Waller still bothers me to this day. Because like genuinely, like, yeah, Skinny Waller will always be a weird time frame, and that's kind of why we've kind of ended up in this weird half thing where we love Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, but I always love like Pam Grier as Amanda Waller, or like just thicker Amanda Waller in general, because it showed that she is the wall. She is going to be the wall, whether you like it or not. She didn't let her, like, she didn't have to be this petite little thing and use beauty to get through things. She was going to use her force and her intellect to get where she wanted to be.
Can't do that.
Also to Dreamer, Jefferson Pierce in the middle. Yes, Jefferson Pierce, if you've never really like read Black Lightning stuff, he very much is a product of being black in Cleveland in the 70s. He is somebody that grew up in an era, kind of like how Cress Williams portrays him in the TV show. This idea that he still believes in the system and tries to get other people to believe in the system. That's how, like, if you truly read into Black Lightning and the way Jenny Isabella propped him up, is that it's very obvious that Jeff is supposed to be a product of like Gen X, late millennial mind think, where he grew up in an era where a black man believing, like, he's kind of similar to Carl Winslow from Family Matters in a way, but he's a teacher, he's a principal. Like, he believes trying to navigate the system is important, if that makes sense. To give you kind of a real world reference to that.
Right.
So it may be too late for me, but it's not too late for you.
Meanwhile, negotiations with Icon and Hardware continue. Icon sees through Luther's intentions and recognizes them for the power play this is.
Hey, yo. Hold on. Peep game, right? Peep game. A lot of people think of a lot of people think of JLU Lex Luthor when they read Lex Luthor in comic books. They like to think of like, oh, Lex Luthor's black and yada yada, because of the like the JLU cartoons and whatnot. Like, they really like to think of that era of the things like think of Clancy Brown and whatnot. But genuinely, for me, I either think of Michael Rosenbaum Lex Luthor, or I think of Mark Rolston Lex Luthor from Young Justice, because the way that Mark Rolston would talk as Lex Luthor feels so a white man did it. And it's like, yeah, like, it's one of those things where you genuinely feel like this is some white man shit. Like, you know this is a white man doing conniving white man shit. Like that, like, I know a lot of people like to think of Clancy Brown, Lex Luthor, and adopt him into the culture. No. Mark Rolston, Young Justice, Lex Luthor, that is a white man. That is a white man living the capitalist lifestyle, is the way I like to put it. Hey, Katie, what's up, girl? How you doing? I love how History of DCU waves a lot of the New 52 retcons, because the New 52 sucked, and I will die on that hill. And you can come see me if you got a problem with it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna let BJ talk to y'all.
But he doesn't want to endanger Dakota citizens by fighting back, especially since Lex knows everyone's secret identities. Hardware is still willing to risk it all, but Icon thinks they should just chill. After all, the Justice League could keep Lex in check if the time ever came. As Sergeant Steel brings Static and Rocket back to the table, Virgil sees Icon and Lex Luthor shaking hands and realizes it's all over. When it's his turn to shake hands, though, he hesitates. Virgil's the only hero with powers from the Big Bang, so he feels a special responsibility to keep that spark going. It's not until Lex reveals that he knows everything about Virgil, where he lives, who his family and friends are.
See, this is what I mean. This feels like some white man shit. This is why I can hear Mark Rolston, Young Justice Lex Luthor over Clancy Brown, because this feels like some white man did this shit. I will die on this hill that like where he like you can even kind of read it in that tone too, where it's like, Agent Steele will be running a DEO office here in Dakota to ensure that you don't continue to use your powers. It'll be at the community center, not far from your house, Virgil, on Cowan Avenue. Like, it's that tone. It's that different. Like, you can hear it seeped in there where it's like, yeah, that's Young Justice Luthor, where he really laying it on thick that he got you by the balls, and you're like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Ooh. He's light skinned in Harley Quinn. Well, that's like he's light skinned in Harley Quinn because you have him being voiced by Giancarlo Esposito. Like I'll take it back. That's the other one that I can really hear being Lex Luthor here is Giancarlo Esposito. But like genuinely, when I read this specific scene, this is just Young Justice Mark Rolston. That's what I hear right here. This feels like genuinely Luthor has grabbed Virgil by the balls and been like, I have you, boy. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it. Like, only good stuff from New 52 was Aquaman, Green Lantern, and some Batman. No, I would say the only things that were good about the New 52 was all of New 52 Batman, Aquaman, Batgirl, because Batgirl Burnside is iconic. Some people like the Starfire miniseries. I'll give them that. Not for me, but like, do what you want. And that's it. Fuck Hal Jordan. I don't need him. And the rest of it can burn. Burn it all to the ground. Burn it all to the ground. Genuinely, burn it all to the ground. Supergirl, New 52. Okay, fair. Okay, yeah. You can have Supergirl. You can have Supergirl. I'll give you Supergirl. The collective uplifting of Milestone from all. All right, I'm gonna let BJ go.
That you start to see the shock in his eyes, and he finally gives in.
For the characters that we're following, at least the big four, Static is the only Bang Bang. So he has got a different connection to this sense of agency that this city has been given than the other three characters in this group. And it would be, not that it's not a big deal for them, obviously, like you said, Icon's ready to go, Nuclear Hardware is ready to join him. Rocket's not ready to give anything up either, but like for Static, this is almost more of a sense of an identity for him that he's giving up than it is anything else for the others. So scripting that part was rough because like this is heavy stuff. But also like I said, me loving getting to the heart of the emotion, like that was probably in a weird way my favorite thing to write.
Lex killed Alva, right?
Fun fact. I mean,
we don't know. It doesn't tell you who killed Alva. I would like to think that Lex or Waller might have killed Alva, but we don't know who killed Alva. That's the thing, because it even says in the book that let me pull it up. Its owner, Edwin Alva, is now dead, which means the city of Dakota is no longer protected by the confidential arrangements made for the sake of keeping the peace. Threat level Omega. We need to move on this before. So, like, I could see a world where Waller did it because Waller didn't like the moves being made, but to what we are aware of, we don't know who killed Alva, which I could see that being a hardware plot down the line. I would love to see that be a hardware plot down the line.
I have to tell you this earlier.
Metamorpho did it.
The page where they show everybody's signature on the document. Yes. We were going back and forth on if we were going to have the signatures on the page or not, and we decided yes, we would. And then Marquise in the email chain, our editor Marquise was like, "You guys each want to take a character and sign their signature, and we'll put it on the page." And we were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I did Icons, which is the first one, and we wrote their government names. So Augustus Freeman, Joe Illidge did Hardwares, Nick did Statics, and Steph did Rockets. And I know you can barely see it; it's very small, but like that's all of our individual handwriting.
As the team reels from the loss.
Hold on. I gotta see that. I gotta see that one more time. I think that really makes me happy. It makes me really happy that that Joe got to do Curtis's, because Joe was the one that got to put the final stamp on Curtis's story. So that really makes me happy that he got to be the one to put that final touch on Curtis. Virgil very much looks like he was a millennial like myself who was taught cursive. Raquel didn't give a shit. Raquel very much just wrote her shit the way she wanted to. But like Dreamer said in chat, yeah, Augustus feels very old fashioned, very almost calligraphy-ish, like a lawyer. It is definitely like, yeah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But no, it makes me really happy to know that Joe got to write Curtis's, because he was the one that got to write the ending for Curtis, or got to, not to write his, but got to edit the ending for Curtis. That makes me really happy.
In the email handwriting.
As the team reels from the loss, Amistad narrates what came next. Hardware and Icon worked underground, trying to keep Dakota safe in other ways. Virgil buried his head in his studies to distract himself, and Raquel, who was pregnant at the time of the ceasefire, decides to put all of her energy into raising her son, Amistad, telling him stories and making sure he knew the heroes they once were. And that takes us back to our epilogue, which is written by Nicholas Draper Ivey with art by Edwin Gallman. After witnessing the day that changed the Dakota universe forever, Amistad crash lands in our present day. If things are left...
Look at that fade! Look at that fade! I was giving so much praise to Edwin Gallman on socials yesterday, because genuinely, no one gives Edwin Gallman his flowers. This brother knows how to do black man's hair. He knows how to draw black men so well. Like, I feel like Edwin Gallman is not getting the props that he does. Like, his work on Cyborg 2 years ago, so beautiful. So beautiful. I still haven't made it to my LCS to pick up my pull box, but I hope when I get there, there's no extra variants. You'll have to see, brother. You'll have to see. Tell you what, if you don't get a variant cover, I'll send you the group shot cover. How about that? I'll mail it to you.
The way they were.
You can't have the Cowan cover, because the Cowan cover's for me.
His world's gonna cease to exist. So he finds Virgil Hawkins, who is now college-aged, in a coffee shop studying with a group of friends. The hero life he once knew is long behind him, a repressed memory at best. Beacon is hoping to convince Virgil to fight so that his future can be saved. And to do so, he offers an impassioned plea.
This speech, I told Nicholas Draper Ivey this yesterday. This feels like a Nick speech. Like, if you've read the milestone 30th anniversary, the speech that Virgil gives to Terry McGinnis, you can tell this is Nick yelling at the character, like Nick giving the sage wisdom to a character. And this right here feels like Nick yelling at Virgil to not let DC like utilize his ass, not let DC control him and let him thrive the way he needs to. Like it feels like Nick telling like Virgil, remember what Dwayne instilled in you, and it's so beautiful the way he does it. Look at that. That's what I was talking about, brother. You missed it. I was talking about that fade. That fade was crispy. That fade is crispy. It's so good. Edwin Gallman don't play, brother.
Came to you because you're the spark that lit the fire. It's not too late for that spark to come back. If you don't, my world, your future falls apart.
That last sequence was basically me talking to the character like myself, like don't let them punk you out like this. Like it was me talking to Static saying, don't let DC just let this be the final word for you. Like don't allow this to happen.
And just as he starts to get,
and it meant so much to me that I called it, and Nick was like, "Thank you for getting that." I'm like, it felt so good because I can tell Nick writing a speech and Nick trying to have intent so much. I can tell because he did the same thing with Virgil in the 30th. Like he has a way about it, and man, so good.
Get through to him, and Virgil remembers Amistad. He disappears back into the time stream. Later that day, Virgil goes home to find his old costume. It's time for Static to fight back. Now, that epilogue really does end with a lot of meta commentary, and it's clear through this one shot that the future of the Milestone universe and the Dakota City heroes is going to depend on Static, quite literally and figuratively. It's going to depend on Static in universe, but it's also going to depend on Static from a publishing standpoint. And that brings us to the 100K challenge.
And that is a challenge to the comics community that we sell 100,000 copies of this book. Because if we sell 100,000 copies of this book, then a Static ongoing can be demanded, not a 6-issue, 8-issue, 10-issue ongoing. Begin the road to Static 50 to Static 100, because that is what is needed.
And to which challenge I say, challenge accepted. I think there's a lot of reasons why Static is the future of the Milestone universe, and perhaps nobody has better insight into that than Nicholas Draper Ivey.
He's a young black man in America.
Ooh!
It's very simple. How many people see themselves in Virgil? How many people look at that and be like, damn, that's me? How many people, are intelligent and, into science, into books and, people that are into this type of stuff that see Virgil Hawkins and they're just like, yo, that's me. You know what I mean? I think that's why he endures, is because it's a character that was written to endure. Like, he's not endure, gonna pretend that he's not. No, Virgil Hawkins lives right down the street from you. He lives right down the street from me. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen Virgil Hawkins somewhere out there in the world.
Static is the linchpin. He is the tip of the spear. He is the beacon. There needs to be a Static ongoing series. The character is symbolic to multiple generations. I wish to God when I was a kid in the 70s there was a Static, but there wasn't. But imagine the kids who Static could shape them now. He's necessary.
But all in all, this book is incredibly well done. I have so many favorite parts. Like, I have a favorite page from every sequence. I love that page where Static first appears, that Val DeLandro draws in Act 1. I love Bronze Tiger's decision in Act 2. I absolutely love the moment where Virgil kind of recognizes the severity of the situation and has to just stand down in Act 3. And of course, in that
I'm going to be real frank with y'all. The way they draw Luther in that scene, it almost looks like Dan DiDio. And it's fucking scary. but like, y'all ain't hear me say that. Y'all didn't hear me say that. Y'all didn't hear me say that.
Epilogue, my favorite moment, probably in the whole book, is Amistad trying to convince Static to get back into action because the future depends on it. And so, with that, like I said, this is incredibly well done. Huge props and congrats to the entire creative team. I've shouted out everybody except Darren Bennett's and World Design, who handled lettering for the entire issue. Bravo to you, sir, as well as to Marquise Draper and Brittany Holzer, the editors for this book. The Dakota Incident is really, really good. I encourage you to go out and grab a copy or 5. And let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. And by the way, if you're new here, I do videos all the time about milestone heroes as well as new comic book day breakdowns and everything in between. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and stick around.
Was like D'Angelo, like what you mean there? What you mean? Like what's that face for? Ivy said, I mean. Need a Rocket series? Honestly, Rocket by herself would be very intriguing. I feel like that's a dynamic we haven't really seen and no one's really talked about. It definitely would be interesting, I would say that.
Evie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
By the time you're seeing this video, the new history of the DC universe, the Dakota Incident, should be on shelves by this point, or at least close enough to it. I have gotten a chance to read this within the past like weeks from the time of this recording, and I can definitely tell you what this book is and what it isn't. I don't want to clear up some things just in case. I'm going to do something a little bit different.
Oh, the dance statement. You know, we do be blunt around here sometimes, brother. Don't you worry. Matter of fact, it is 10:30. I might do a stream tomorrow too, but I'm gonna let y'all hang out for 2 seconds. Do you think we're gonna get more milestone comics with this now? I'm gonna be real with you. I have hope, but we're probably not going to see a black comic book, a black ongoing from DC until at earliest next year, if not the tail end of this year. Because genuinely, I don't think DC saw the 1,000 days as a problem. I don't think they saw the lack of representation as a problem, because they're seeing Absolute Batman fly off the shelves. They're seeing everything else kind of do so well. And I don't want to pop anybody's bubble, and why I kind of stopped myself from making a video about it today is that there was a lot of people who were super excited that the books is selling out at your local comic book store, and that, oh, they have to order more copies and this, that, and the third. Here's the thing. These stores are saying this, that they're sold out, because they didn't initially buy or pre-order a lot of copies because they didn't see a lot of interest in this story. They didn't see pre-orders coming through. A lot of people still don't understand that pre-orders control the market. Now, does the fan reception from the past couple of days show that DC is probably going to give them a shot? Definitely. Do we know how large of a shot? Not really. I think by next year, you will probably see a Static book, but that's it. If I had it my way, I have a dream lineup in my head of who I want to see on what book and what doing what, because I want 6 books of DC right now. I want Black Lightning, I want Vixen, I want Static, Hardware, Icon Rocket, and Blood Syndicate. I want all 6. And I have dream lineups for all of them. But I don't think DC is going to give me that shit the way I want. trying to get people to pre-order any book is frustrating. Like, that's the thing, Bumpkins, and like you and I had to sit down about this at some point, because like I even interviewed Joseph Village and talked about this shit, because that's the big issue, is that the community still doesn't understand how pre-orders work. And like, I blew somebody's brain the other day because they were in my comment section and they were like, wait, does that mean the book off the shelf that nobody ever picks up that ends up in a back issue bin counts as a sale? And I was like, yeah, it does, because the store bought it. Your dollar doesn't mean anything. What the sales are only controlled based off of what the store bought from the distributor. So it then becomes up to you for you to pre-order and then make your dollar matter. The only thing you're doing if you buy a book off the shelf from a comic book store is the equivalent of you buying a used game from a GameStop. And that's the one thing that so many individuals don't understand, is that you're not paying DC. You're paying the comic shop who then bought the shit from Looter and Penguin, who then got it from DC and Marvel, etc. That's the issue that so many individuals don't understand, is that if you walk into a comic shop right now and pick a book off the shelf, that is the equivalent to buying a used game from a GameStop, because the publisher gets nothing. The publisher has already been paid for that. That's the thing that so many individuals don't understand about this, and why it feels like I'm constantly having to pull teeth to explain it to people. Like, I remember last year when Green Arrow got canceled, people started to go for a change.org petition, and then everybody wanted to choke out Scott Snyder about it. And Scott Snyder's like, look, y'all, it's the sales. I wish Scott Snyder would have explained to people that it's not the sales, it's the pre-orders. The pre-orders control the market, and he didn't feel like it was beneficial to explain that. And that was the issue at hand, is that he didn't feel it was pertinent to explain that to people. And it's the biggest issue they're having. Maybe if we could ask Scott Snyder about pre-order. I've extended the invitation to Scott Snyder multiple times to come on my show. Scott Snyder owes me an interview from 10 years ago. I have the video when my show was called Panel to Panel. He recorded a video the day after Metal came out at Cincinnati Comic Expo, where he said, hey guys, it's Scott Snyder, I'm going to be coming on Panel to Panel. And then he got so busy with Metal and Justice League and all that the third, that he never got back to me about coming on the show. He still owes me an interview from 10 years ago. I would love to sit down with him and talk about his career, talk about his indie work, talk about his Absolute Batman, talk about the industry as a whole, because I have so much respect for that man. And it genuinely breaks my heart that so many individuals, like there was some black folks on Twitter who were trying to say Scott Snyder was racist. Scott Snyder's not racist. Scott Snyder's tired. That motherfucker, if you look at him as a person, that man is constantly in a state of tired, because all he's constantly doing is thinking of new ideas to make the industry better. But he didn't think to tell people that, no, it's not the sales, it's the pre-orders that matter. And that's the issue at hand that people aren't thinking about, that people don't understand. Like, I have so much respect for Scott Snyder as a creator. I love him to death. One of my favorite memories is standing next to him and Greg Capullo throwing up the devil horns. Like, that meant so much to me, because it was my first time getting press for a con. It meant so much to me, and I will always have respect for him. So if anyone tries to say Scott Snyder's racist, no, Scott Snyder's not racist. That man is just tired. That man is constantly in a state of exhaustion, because all he ever does is think about how to make more comics and make more shit and make more Batman shit, because he loves Batman. That's all he ever does. It was yeah, Scott, like I would love to just sit and talk to Scott Snyder for hours, because hearing him talk about how passionate he is about the industry is insane. Like, anybody who tries to have smoke for Scott Snyder is crazy. Like, genuinely. Like that's the big so we should bug him. I'm not saying you should bug him. I've shared the video that he recorded on my phone before, and that he just got too busy. I'm not mad about it. I just he will always have a standing invitation to sit down with me. Is what I always say. He does look tired in a lot of pictures. That's what I'm saying. That man is tired. I love him to death. I've been on several retailer calls with him, and he's fantastic. You know, that man is the shit. Hey, yo, Willie, thank you for the gifts, man. You are awesome. I appreciate you over on TikTok. You know, genuinely, like Scott Snyder, like no one could ever tell me that he needs that Disney trip, but he needs a vacation. Scott Snyder, like Scott Snyder and James Tynion specifically just need a vacation. But I feel like James Tynion specifically is what Scott Snyder would be if Scott Snyder stopped giving a shit about the big two. Like if Scott Snyder stopped caring about the big two, he would be just as big as James Tynion. Because like just like Willie said in chat just now, James Tynion is forever cooking. Like this motherfucker's about to launch a card game because that motherfucker is constantly cooking. Like I cannot wait till next month when I go to Corpse Tour and I finally meet James Tynion and shake his hand. I have a tattoo that I just got on my arm because of something James Tynion created because of House of Slaughter. So like genuinely, I will always love Scott Snyder and James Tynion because those two put so much of their heart and soul into this industry, and they get too much flack from people who think they know comics, but they don't know comics. Or Jeff Johns. No comment. I'm not gonna give my thoughts on Jeff Johns. If you wanna know my thoughts on Jeff Johns, ask Ray Fisher. But like that's what I'll say about that. They got too much dip on the chip with that one. Nah, brother, nah. Like you know, I will always say that I'm not gonna I refuse to speak on Jeff Johns as a creative until Ray Fisher gets an apology. I will say that Jeff Johns gave me my first ever ongoing with Teen Titans. People who think they know comics but don't know comics, that's all of comic book Twitter. Bro, do you know what's been so refreshing is that people actually listen to me and pay attention when I say things on Twitter now that I've proven that I've had conversations with creators and they actually want to hear me out. I even got like people who normally would disagree with me to hear me out. And it's very refreshing because I don't have any malice to the industry. Like I think the one person that I would ever have smoke with in the industry is probably Rob Liefeld. But like other than that, I have nothing but love for this industry. I have nothing but love for the creatives of this industry. And I want this industry to be better. I need this industry to quit using archaic methods of sales tracking because there's no reason why a digital sale from Amazon or Neon Ichiban doesn't affect sales. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Jonathan Hickman, I don't got smoke for Hickman. I think Hickman's a mad genius. I never heard anyone say anything bad about Hickman. Well, why the Liefeld smoke? Just artistic. Will, if you want to know why I have smoke for Rob Liefeld, go ask him about Jack Kirby's widow. That's what I say about that. Daniel Warren Johnson is a fucking god. That man shares a bond with me when it comes to wrestling that I will always cherish. I love Daniel Warren Johnson's work. When you read Murder Falcon, it changes your perspective. Like, that man is so good at what he does and does not get the respect that he deserves. Like, brother is the GOAT. I used to be a pseudo Liefeld defender, but not anymore. You know, because Bumpkins, I don't know if you've ever seen The Rise and Fall of the Comics Empire by SF Debris on YouTube. It's something that you could easily just like turn on while you're like doing work around the house and shit like that. Like genuinely, it's a great introspective as to why the industry like had its issues in the 80s and 90s and why the bubble burst. But like genuinely, I've been kind of bothered about why like Liefeld has regained prominence. Like he just rode the fact that he co-created Deadpool, even though if you really think about it, Fabian Nicieza did more with Deadpool than Liefeld. And genuinely, Liefeld is a punk ass bitch that he needs to go apologize to Jack's widow immensely on her gravestone and apologize to Jack Kirby's gravestone for the rest of time for what he did. And that's all I gotta say about that. He my third, but not Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns, I said my piece on that. Hey, yo, Dreamer, I appreciate you coming by. I'll have to DM you later, fam. But you know, I'm gonna say like genuinely, like I got nothing but smoke for Liefeld. Liefeld can catch me outside. That's the one person. I used to have Tom King on my catch me outside list, but then I found out most of the shit Tom King gets hate for was Dan DiDio's fault. So Dan DiDio can catch me outside. I think those are the two. It would be Liefeld and Dan DiDio can catch me outside. Otherwise, I'm good. Because in the same turn, Dan DiDio would get a handshake for me for putting respect on Extraño, but then I'd smack the living shit out of him for what he did to Hotspot. Like that would be the 1-2 is that I'ma shake your hand for putting respect on Extraño, but then I'ma smack the shit out of you for what you did to Hotspot. You know, he craps all over the industry, craps on retailers and thinks his book's the best. No, yeah, Liefeld's got problems. You know, Liefeld's got a bunch of problems. That brother needs help. That brother needs help. Dan DiDio and Cebulski. Here's the thing. I don't know enough about Mr. Yoshida to have smoke for Mr. Yoshida. I can't really speak on like that for me. If I knew more about Mr. Yoshida, I could definitely speak on it, but I don't know enough about Mr. Yoshida to really speak on things because apparently no one knows enough about Mr. Yoshida. So if I knew more about Mr. Yoshida and could speak on how he feels about the industry, I would love that. Live access removed. Violent criminal behavior. Wait, what? What? I just got my live access removed from TikTok for saying that I would fight Rob Liefeld? Are you serious? I'm mad as hell. 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 I never said. I'm so mad right now. Y'all really said y'all gonna report me. It's like that, Ram. It's like that. I'm a whole Rob's arms. Bro, hey, yo, Michael, I appreciate you coming through. I'm so mad. Whoever reported me on TikTok, you a hoe. Somebody reported me on TikTok for saying that I'd fight Rob Liefeld. That's actually sad, bro. How you gonna be that much of a fan of Rob Liefeld that you report me? That's sad. I'm a little annoyed at that, fam. I'm a little annoyed at that. You really revoked my. Hold on, I gotta fix my thought on live access revoked for saying I'd fight Rob Liefeld. Are you serious, bro? Oh, they clipped it? Hold on, they clipped it. Hold on. I can't turn the volume up. Oh no, they clipped me saying I'd fight the Dio. Man, shut the fuck up. It's in jest. It's not actually. I got reported for saying I'd fight the Dio. I'm so upset. Bitches ain't loyal. Nah, that like it don't make no sense because it was probably like AI tracking or some shit. Because genuinely, I didn't say like I'm actually gonna fight this man. Rob is one of 7 watching. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. That motherfucker hears his name and comes running. That motherfucker hears his name and comes running. I'll tell you what. Like it'd be sad. It'd be sad with him. Not now. You know, but I guess I'll go ahead and wrap up stream, folks. Don't forget, make sure you join the podcast Discord, discord.com/comics unmasked. I will put it in the chat for y'all. We are going to be screening the Milestone Generations documentary to Saturday. We are going to be streaming. Hey, yo, Willie B, I appreciate you coming over to YouTube because, yeah, somebody reported my live. I appreciate you coming through. Been a lot. You know, like, yo, I subbed. I look forward to the rest. Yo, Michael, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night because now that TikTok wants to throw shade, I'm going to start doing more lives over here because it's daily. What's crazy is wasn't even doing anything. Well, apparently the AI clipped me saying that I was gonna fight the Dio, and I'm like, really. I'm here. I love Shade. Hey yo, you'll love more tomorrow because I'll probably be live around like 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'll say 8 p.m. Eastern we'll go live. But genuinely, I appreciate y'all coming through. I was gonna talk about the Fox shit, but I just didn't get to talk about the Fox shit. But we'll definitely be talking more about that as time goes on. I'm just like, bro, y'all really flagged me for saying something in jest. Damon, I appreciate it. Of course, man. No, we'll be here. We'll be here. Make sure you join the Discord. Holla at me. I gotta actually sit down and actually organize my YouTube streams. That way it looks more professional and shit. Because if I'm gonna be doing these, I gotta start creating more thumbnails. But I will catch y'all tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace out.